In this video, we're going to take you quickly through the setup of the approval workflow. Now, within Dynamics 365, you have the Office Microsoft Flow option. We're not going to do that option today. We're just going to show you quickly how to do purchase or sales or item workflows. Now, the start of this is an assisted setup. A couple of ways you can do it. If you're logged in as Business Manager, I've already got this up here, and some of the other role centers have the assisted setup also. I can click on there and get straight to my assisted setup, which is here, or the other route of getting to assisted setup, and we talk about this a lot, is using the search feature, so assisted setup. Either way. Now, setup approval workflow, you can see I've already completed that. There are other workflows in here, so you've got item approval, payment approval workflow. These are standard out-the-box workflows if you can go and set them up. So if we actually go there, it says I've already set it up. As you can see, it was completed. So I'll say yes, I want to get rid of that and I want to start again. I'm going to look at purchase invoice approval. So any purchase invoices need to go through an approval stage. Do I want to use the existing setup? I can say no, I don't want to. And I can actually open the approval user setup. Now, this approval user setup, you can see I've actually already got one user. I've got a purchasing amount for approval limit. I've got an unlimited in here if I want to use it, and we'll actually go into this particular area in a moment and we'll create some other users. So I've got 1,000 of whatever my currency is. Again, I could tick that box and it's unlimited. I can have various different states. I can have substitutes, and I can have an email address, and I've got approval administrator as well. So I could set myself up that I'm then allowed, or other users are allowed, to set up these approvals. Once we've actually set that person up, what's really quite important is this notification setup at the top. So the notification setup is pretty much as it says, what happens when a notification comes through. So I've set up an email address, I've set up somebody, what happens. So we've got a few states here. One is for a new record, one is for the approval, and the other one is for anything that's overdue. What notification method are we going to use? It could be just a note coming up, or it could be an email. And then we can run a schedule. Now, the notification schedule is set up here. I've got instantly set up on this one, but if I go and look at these notification schedules, so notification schedules are set up for particular times, day, week, month. And why would I want to do that? Well, I guess if you're setting up a notification schedule and it sends it instantly, and we all get a barrage of emails every day, and that could go to the bottom of someone's list, especially if they're not around. If you set up daily, that would actually update daily until they did something. So that could be quite useful to you to have a different schedule set there. Certainly on approval and overdue, I would probably set a schedule of daily. For new records and approvals, probably only instantly. But that is effectively the notification schedules that you can set up. So that would be set up against each individual approval user. So we can go through here and we can look at the users that we've got on the system, and we can choose different people, and we can actually put them in here. We can give them different amounts, and we can create a workflow through here. So if we went back and I said, yep, actually let's just use the existing setup, that would say that's it. I could have shown you how to set up each individual user. I'm not going to for the speed of this. So I've now finished and I've got that completed. So I've set up my approval workflow. Now we can actually set up different workflows here. We're not going to go through those in this particular video. We're going to try and keep these to just over 5 minutes, and we're going to come out of there. If we actually go back in here and look for approval, down the bottom here, the approval user setup is exactly what I was showing you earlier. And in here is the actual setup, and you can see all of the notification and the ability to test these setups. We can quickly then look at the purchase invoice workflow that we've just created. Now it's very simple. If we go in here, just choose somebody. Choose the first item on the list. We've got a unit price here. We're going to do 1. Because I have the rights up to 1,000, it won't go through any approval workflow particularly. I can send it for approval request, but because my particular user is set up to allow up to 1,000, it's not going to be a problem. I can quickly go and have a look at the approvals from here, and I can actually look at that particular item if I really want to. I can go and look at the record of that particular item, and we can see it here. It's exactly the purchase invoice, but I've got the ability, if I go and look in my, if we just say yes, if we go and look in my approvals workflow, there would be, if it had come above the actual amount, there's an approval screen in here and the email that would come through to me as well. But if we look at the approval request entries, we would actually see in here there's one that I did before and the one that I've literally just done. So we can actually see these, but because they become below the amounts, they go automatically in. So I don't get the ability to do anything with it. The approval request screen, if it came above the amount, that's a slightly different screen. So if we go and have a look at the approval request entries, the request to approve, here, if it was above the limit, it would actually have an approval, a rejection, or a delegation. That is very simply the approval workflow set up in its simplest manner. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you'll come back and see some more of our informative videos in the future.